This is just a quick video where we're going to cover a common problem with the Sharp PC-1500 series pocket computers. Also the same thing as a TRS-80 PC-2. What happens is the funny looking screw, the battery door, doesn't screw into anything. It's supposed to go there, and it doesn't tighten into anything. And what happens, there's a captured nut in here that gets messed up when somebody loses the original screw and they didn't put in too long a screw. So when you tighten it up, it pushes the metal plate that's under there out of the way, and the next time you take the screw loose, the nut falls inside, rattles around, and perhaps eventually disappears, which is what happened in this case. So to take the two halves of this apart, there are 5 screws right here. They're a little longer, all the same length, and there are 3 screws in the battery compartment. So I'll go ahead and take those out, and then we'll open this up. Okay, so I've got the LCD section sitting in my rag so I don't scratch it. And you're just going to rotate this around this way. You kind of lift up, very carefully rotate it back, taking care of the flex cables here. Let me zoom in again. Okay, you notice there's a circuit board hiding under here with this little flap. Ignore that. That is the CE1500T turbo board that allows you to programmatically increase the clock speed 50%. So there are 4 screws that we need to take loose to get this board out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You don't loosen these 2 screws or these 2 screws. Okay, and to get this board out, you need to lift up on the left side here just slightly, kind of wiggle that out. You're kind of getting this cartridge port over this edge, so it's a little tricky. And right here's that metal plate I was talking about. Let me zoom in there a little bit. And when I first got in here, this plate was popped loose and it was bent. I've already straightened it out, and the nut was completely missing. Now the screw size here is an M2. However, it's what's called a small pattern nut, which means the outside is a lot smaller than a normal nut. And I measured this, and it turned out that the exterior, the hex portion of the nut, was about the same as an M1.6 nut. So I bought a bag of M1.6 nuts. Now the 1.6 are the 2 that refers to the major diameter of the screw, the outside of the screw. You know, the inside threads of the screw are a little smaller. With an M6 nut, which you might just be able to see here, the major diameter of the screw is 1.6 millimeters, and conveniently that's what we need to pre-drill for tapping a 2 millimeter screw. So what I did was, I'll pop up some pictures here. I chucked the little nut in my lathe. Then I drilled it out with a 1.6 millimeter carbide drill bit, and I tapped that out with a 2 millimeter drill. And doing that on a small lathe helped keep everything centered. It would be very difficult to do manually, but it probably would be possible. And so I don't drop the screw trying to pop it in here. I'm going to thread in the original cover screw like that. And now I've got a little handle. And I'm going to try to pop that in there, and it's kind of hard to see over the head of the screw. And of course, your view on the video is going to be just about completely blocked by me. Okay, so now that nut is down in there, we can back out our screw. There we go. We can put our plate back in there. Like that. Okay, you can just see right here on this edge, maybe if I lift it up a little more, that was originally heat staked, but that pretty much broke off there. So I put an old tip in my soldering iron. I cleaned it up, and I melted some plastic on it to try to get any remaining bits of solder off of there. I've got the iron set to about 250 degrees Celsius. And I've got some 3D printer filament, so I'm going to try to build up this area where it was heat staked. Okay, put a little tension on that. That should be fine. So now we've got our nut trapped in there like it was originally, and I'll go ahead and put this back together. The only trick to getting this in there is to tip it like that. And hold your mouth just right till it drops down in there. Replace the screws. Remember, these screws are going into plastic, so start them backwards. You know, counterclockwise, so you feel them drop in, and then snug them up. And we'll put the other screws on it and see if our back cover or the battery cover screws work. Okay, I got the cover screws back in there, and we'll slip our battery cover on there. And again, this is the original battery compartment screw. The reason for the big slot there was so you could use a coin to change the batteries, because you know you don't always have a screwdriver in your pocket, but used to be people always had coins. This is sort of like what in the US we would call a cheese head screw, meaning that the head is taller and fatter than a normal screw. I couldn't find those type that would fit. It needs to be wide enough to have enough bearing on the plastic, but I did find some truss head, which are Phillips drive, which I've got on order, which should work for replacements. There we go. See, now I've got that on there. So you could use a regular panhead screw, 2 millimeter diameter, 0.4 pitch, and a length of 4 millimeters. There we go. We got that fixed up.